and today's title is ¿Qué hacer cuando tienes un nuevo empleado? Which is, what should I do if I have a new employee? So keep in mind, I have a baby, and so he will wake up at any time, and I don't have the time to make videos, and hopefully I can make as many as possible. Anyway, so let's continue. The first thing is you have to have your rules. The basics is, if you are getting a new employee or it's your first time getting a new employee, you have to make sure to have a paper set out with your rules of what they should and should not do. Why do you have to have this? Even though it seems like it's the most basic thing, if you don't do it in your first interaction with this employee, what that causes is that employee will then assume things and then do it their way instead of following your rules. And then when you do apply those rules, it's harder for them to follow. Okay, so make sure to have your rules. I may do another video where I actually set out rules that you can actually set up, but for now, you guys make sure to set up your own rules based on your experiences, based on what you've seen from previous employees. Now, you also have to inform them that you meet them, how much you're gonna pay them, how many times, when will you be paying them, because that's the main thing that you guys need to look for when you're doing your interviews is when you are expressing your standards and the expectations that you expect from these employees. If they are always commenting about their pay or how much they got paid previously and how either your pay is really low or how much will you be paying me if I drive, like all of these little details or comments, you have to think about it, because people who ask these comments are people who do not want to think about your rules or the standards you expect out of them. All they want is to come, do the hours, and get money. That's it. But some people out there generally will think about your business and think highly of it, and so when you start putting in your standards and expectations, they're listening to them and they're wanting to learn more and wanting to make sure they perform good to stay, right? So by the end of the interview or at the beginning, they never ask you how much are they getting paid, even though it's the biggest, most important information you need to know from getting a job. But sometimes when this person is really putting effort and understanding or thinking about your rules and expectations that you're going to be expecting from that person, they completely forget to ask the most important question. And that's, I think, is a green flag when hiring a employee. Also, make sure to inform them what rules involve if they were to be fired. So not just what they can and can't do inside, about just the basic rules, you also have to explain the rules of, if they were to do this, they will get fired. If you get to do this, you're fired. Just the set of rules of, you'll be fired if you do this, just because that helps to make sure that they don't do it and they actually pay attention to it, instead of just combining all of these rules all together. Always inform your employees that they are under temporary observation. So sometimes what I like to do is I like to tell employees who come in for the first time, I like to tell them, hey, you only have 2 weeks to do this, and if you don't keep up, I'm gonna have to just let you go, because you have, especially in the house cleaning business, people don't like to be on top of you, especially since you're gonna be doing a lot of pressure. House cleaning is a lot of pressure, because not only do you have the pressure of, when you start out, the customers who's gonna be on top of you, checking you and making sure that you do your job right, especially if you go by hourly. If you go by flat rates, it's a little bit more easier, but the people who are working with you, they don't want to feel like they're doing 80% of the job and you're only doing the 20%, especially if you're just like deciding not to try. I hope you have a good day. See you later.